Let's go. Little she's up. The bitch please up. Check it. Yo, I be buying V's, so all my girls be eyeing C's. Coming backstage, dying to get.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. What's up?
How y'all doing in this new year? Welcome to 2014 and the second
edition.
The second edition
of the prescription.
Of the prescription.
The motherfucking prescription.
I'm so excited.
Y'all don't understand. Usually we do this on the phone. And she is in Philadelphia. Nope, Pennsylvania. And I am in Oakland. But for this one special moment in time, the universe has blessed us.
We in the same space,
we in
y'all.
We in my motherfucking living room. And it's going down.
It's going down. How y'all doing out there?
How y'all doing? I don't know about y'all, but MZB just had the nerve to show me.
And this is how we gonna start it off in the new year.
Oh my God. The Beyonce partition video.
Thoughts?
Okay, let's talk about it.
First
of all, half that video was illegal. The part where she sat up on that counter and it was like her butt with it was like a thong, but it was like, and I was just like, that's illegal. The part where she slid down the rubber jail bars and had to slide the butt cheeks on the outside of the...
Yes.
That was illegal. But I was like, well, good for you, Beyonce. Just be grown then. Just be grown. But then, okay, people, me and Moya have been talking about this all day. I'm not so sure. Jesus help me. Y'all don't find out where I live now, Beehive people. I know y'all coming for me when I say this. Here we go. But I hesitate on Beyonce. I want to let me stop playing. I'm skeptical about her intentions. I think she's a great entertainer. I think she has a great voice. I generally like her videos. And there are multiple songs of hers that if she does, I get crunk to them. But when this came out, I think her move to release all the songs in one day was just a stroke of genius. That will not be...
Capitalist genius.
It was a stroke of capitalist... It was a coup for Beyonce. Mm-hmm. It was a coup. It was brilliant. But I got into it for a second and I was like, oh, fuck Beyonce. Just because I just don't know about her.
Now, see, and this is where I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But I have to say, I still get excited when black women slay capitalism. Slay. And I know that this is not a winning strategy. This ain't gonna get us to liberation. That this is not what our movements need, what our people need. However, I was so glad when she just said nope to everybody in the industry who have been talking to her for a whole year. Like, when is this album coming out? Oh, we heard these songs weren't good. We don't know. Like, how are you going to make this work with no production? And she sold and was number one in 104 countries on her own, just on her own merit. Like, no advertising other than her people's hype
10 bajillion rabid fans who would love to dedicate their life to running in front of a truck and pushing Beyonce and Blue Ivy out of the way and getting smashed. That would be their dream in life. That she don't need no advertising. She just got those people.
That's all she needed.
And for those people, don't get mad at me. Don't look. I know how y'all love Beyonce out there.
We appreciate her.
I do. I appreciate Beyonce. It's fine.
Yeah.
She just...
There's an appreciation.
There's an appreciation, and there's also just like a girl.
I feel you.
She's got a lot of money. And I just don't... She's married to Jay-Z. That's like a strike point for me too. It's just like, but why?
This is a very valid point, because Jay-Z,
strikes.
Just why?
Strikes.
And I just have to talk for a moment about Drunken Love, since we're talking about Jay-Z.
Drunken Love. By the way, did you see the video with that little boy on it?
Yes. Killing it.
I thought that was so cute.
It was really cute. But in Drunken Love, we have Jay-Z with this verse that you know, I mean, starts out maybe a little interesting.
I heard he says eat the cake anime.
And he says
I'm not with that shit
eat
at
the
all.
cake.
I hate that fucking phrase.
He not only says eat the cake anime, but he names like all of the violent. I mean, he says Ike. He says Ike Turner.
People love Ike Turner, girl.
Right, and I get
hardcore misogynist dudes
absolutely
stand for Ike Turner.
Absolutely, but the context in which he's saying this is supposed to be, you know, about sexual prowess, whatever, fine. But I still think if this is your, you know, love, your partner, that just seems like not maybe the analogy you want to use for your sexual prowess. I'm just saying, all these violent men who are known for abusing women might pick a different metaphor.
And abusing their intimate partners.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? There's not like random women. Like the woman who had your children.
I'm just saying. You might want to pick another
Eat
metaphor.
the cake anime, just in general. If I catch people saying that shit, you get snatched. That's all that's about. That is an awful phrase.
It is.
It's an awful phrase. And people think it's so funny, but it's just so indicative of how much the abuse of black women is just a joke. It's just a fucking joke. Eat the cake anime. That's hilarious. I'm like, did you see the goddamn movie?
Exactly.
It's horrifying. People are ridiculous. Jay-Z is ridiculous.
Jay-Z makes no sense. It really doesn't. And this, again, is probably the other issue that I have with the album. She spends a lot of time trying to make us believe that she loves him.
Thank you. Because she has to, because it just doesn't make any sense, right?
It doesn't. And it also seems to be about reassuring him. You know, like, I'm still second. You're still number one. I'm still really supportive. Right. But really,
I do it all for my man. I don't believe that, bitch. You will be, it won't matter who you was married to. You still are a talented, vibrant, young woman. And it's not really about Jay-Z.
It's not.
It's not. He has his moments. Trust me.
Exactly.
He facilitates them, I'm sure, daily.
Trust. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say about B. Unless you do.
No, I don't. Let me stop. I really don't. Okay. Though I was going to say, I know Dreamhampton. You said Dreamhampton was hooked up with her for the video. But that grown woman, I feel like she snatched from Dissatisfaction. That scene where she's on the carpet and her mom is on the couch, I was like, that's a snatch. From the scene in Dreamhampton's video where they all like clapped.
Dissatisfaction. So you let us know what you think about that.
Check that out. I thought that was a very deep snatch, and I was like, okay, stop. Just because you're Beyonce doesn't mean, and because she's known for snatching. She snatched fucking Omi's ponytail hold up, and then she had the nerve to say she didn't even know who that person was.
Laomi, yeah,
who Laomi was. I was like, girl, stop, stop it, stop, just stop. We know you know who that is.
You do.
There's no way fuck you don't know who that is.
That's very true.
You lying. Oh, hold on. Okay.
You forgot where we were for a second. To the Beehive. We just kidding. We just playing around.
We're just playing.
And now we're stopping.
Okay.
And all the other things. Anymore. So we wanted to talk about, since we're in this new year, in this new place, we wanted to talk about where we're going. Oh, God. So instead of... I was going to share this with you. Mia was saying instead of New Year's resolutions...
Mia Mingus, the fabulous Mia Mingus. You don't know, Google her.
Get on it. Suggested that instead of New Year's resolution, she had heard people should think about a feeling that they want to kind of cultivate, you know? So instead of saying, I'm going to do these things that are goal-oriented, it's like, what feelings do you want to cultivate in 2014? So I was thinking about the feelings that I wanted to cultivate in 2014, and one of them is feeling less rushed and less hurried. So I want to cultivate, what I was saying was luxurious, and not luxurious in terms of like money, but I just want to move more comfortably in the world and not feel like I'm trying to make moves in ways that are not in alignment with the pace I want to move at or the pace I want to be in the world at, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So that's my luxurious is the feeling. that I'm trying to cultivate.
Was Mia saying you should cultivate multiple feelings, or just like pick the dominant feeling that you want to try to cultivate for yourself? Or is it like a host of feelings?
Yeah, it could be a host. I think maybe keeping it a shorter list, just because it's easier to focus and you won't get lost. But yeah, luxurious was what came to the top of my list. And I realized that a lot of the feelings that were coming up after that were related to that. You know, like stillness, all of that to me was connected to that original one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really into making goals for the year. Last year I read a book. I was unemployed this time last year, which was hard because we had just moved to California, and I was like, oh my God, I don't have a job. And I had just gotten sober too, which was really difficult to do at this time of year. But I don't know, I read this book and it was talking about, I think it's called like The Best Year Ever or something like that. Just forget the title. But it basically goes through all this. The whole book is just like, you go through all these checklists, and it's a very like reflective process that it takes you through, and just in terms of what you want to cultivate. And it doesn't really encourage you to make goals. It just is more like, I guess you could say it's cultivating feelings, but I would say more than that even. It's kind of just focusing your energy to things that may be goals this year, but also are like journey checkpoints, as opposed to being like, well, this year I have to do this thing in this year. It's like, what do I want to thinking about what I want my life to be overall, you know, in a longer scale, and then kind of thinking, how can I do things that are reasonable to get to that point eventually, but maybe not this year. And I had that list hanging up on my wall for the last year. Actually, let me grab it. I actually did most of them.
Amazing.
And it's been good, like, just having them. But I don't feel, as opposed to, like, if these had been resolutions, I would feel bad because I didn't get into grad school, though I did get into 2 credential programs, which I promptly quit. And, let me see, I didn't sell things on Etsy, but I didn't really try that hard. And I didn't perform any. And if they had been resolutions, I would have been like, oh, God, I'm not doing good enough. But because they were just kind of like things I thought would be nice to do, and were reasonable goals instead of the ones I used to set for myself, would just be like things that just are not going to be accomplished. Yeah, I thought that it felt a lot better. I didn't do it this year. Which I kind of wish I had, because I need to make another goal, or not goal, but like journey point chart. But
you can still do it.
I know, I'm supposed to do it today.
Okay.
But, you know, what I'm supposed to is kind of strong.
Yes.
I'll do it when I get to it.
Yes. I love that.
I'll do it when I get to it.
Yeah. I think that's what the luxuriousness is about for me, too, is not putting so much pressure on myself to do things in a certain time frame. It's like, how can I be more gentle with myself on the inside in ways that I'm gentle with other people? You know, there are ways that I am much more understanding of where other people are at than I am with myself. So trying to be patient internally is part of what I'm cultivating too.
That shit's hard though, because I think unlike the impatience and kind of like the sniping that can happen with other people, or the like sweetness and thoughtfulness that happens with other people, everything I do to myself is generally just known to me, and I'm not the best advocate for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes I talk to myself, like I'll say something and be like, get the fuck over it. Come on, suck it up, come on, chop. And I'll be like, damn, if someone else said that to me, I would be like, what?
Yeah.
You know, and I actually become more aware of it now that I've like noticed it. But I always cultivated that when I was younger, because I felt like if I can just be exceptional and formulate, like, to be able to do that for myself, if I can just coach myself into this state of like exceptionalness, like being exceptional in some way, then I'll be like a step ahead of the game, because then no one else will be able to criticize me, because I'll be above reproach.
No.
And not only did that shit not work, it failed miserably, just so y'all know. But it also just made me feel bad. And it just makes me feel bad. Like, I'm trying. I really am always trying.
Yeah.
one of life's learners, learning life's lessons in my own time.
Exactly. And that, to me, I think is another piece of this for me that I'm realizing is some of this I think you have to do in community so that it's not just... Because there are ways that when you make it internal to yourself, you don't have anyone else that you feel accountable to. And I think we often are unaccountable to ourselves first in ways that we aren't to other people. So sometimes externalizing a little bit of this can help. So that's why saying it out loud, it's like now Alexsarah knows that I'm trying to cultivate luxuriousness. So you can tell me, you know, hey, how you doing with that? You know,
Yeah,
it's like
it's
an invitation. By saying some things out loud, it's an invitation to have other people check on you, which is another thing I'm trying to work on in this new year, is not doing everything by myself.
God, but you know, it's funny. When I think of you, I think of somebody who is like surrounded by people who just adore you and are willing to help you and will stand for you always. That's honestly what I think of. In fact, it's something that even though we're really great friends, it's something that I'm always like, if I want to talk about how to make friends or how to be adored, I think first of you, because I feel like just people just adore the shit out of you. And they should. You all should. She's adorable and just like fantastic. I love the shit out of you. But I never would have thought that you'd even say that. I always think of you as not, and of course, I know, you know, it's not like I'm saying like I don't think you have any struggles, but for me, that's not something I would have thought that you, and I know you pretty well, I feel like.
Yeah, but I don't ask for help, though. I don't necessarily, most of my stuff is about how can I help other people, which I think definitely can intrigue me to friends and people who are close, where we can share things, but my personal path is really alone. You know, trying to do my dissertation, I was doing my dissertation by myself, and I couldn't really figure out how to ask for help around it. And I know a lot of people get help with their dissertations. And I was like, no, I have to slog through this. I have to do it myself. And that was really depressing and hard.
Yeah.
But it was also an ego thing, which is some of my stuff too. So I think that I'm trying to invite more solidarity, where I think I am often good at being a support person for someone else. It's harder for me to get support for myself, to ask for that.
You know, actually, I think you knew me when this happened, but back when I was like 21 or something, I had like a sexual assault experience that I like lived through that was awful. And right after that, I felt so... I really thought at that point in my life, though, I don't think I really understood, like, realized it, but that I thought that most things you need to deal with on your own. And I did try to reach out to people, and they basically said, well, that's what you get. What were you doing? Were you drinking? You know, well, I shouldn't say anything about those people, but I don't think they were trying to harm me. I think they just weren't there for me.
Yeah.
And so... I ended up like really contemplating like killing myself, which is wild. Long story short, basically, the series of events that followed the assault really just broke my ass down. I got broken down to the most basic level, and that's when I really realized when I was in the hospital that I was like, I really have to. It's not even optional to do it all myself anymore. It's not an option.
Right.
You will die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'll die. It's it. If you try to do this shit by yourself anymore, you're going to have serious problems.
Absolutely.
There are people who care about you and who you can trust. There might even just be 2 or 3 people.
Exactly.
But you need to tell people when something is really wrong. It is not acceptable to just think that they don't want to help, or to assume for them, like, oh, well, I know what they'll say. You know, it's just all that, because it feels embarrassing. You know, my mom raised me and my sister, and I saw her deal with more than I think I saw anybody else's parents deal with. I mean, it just was like, I don't even know to this day how she got through raising us, because it wasn't a pleasant place where we grew up. But I think I just kind of I learned somewhere that that's just what you do. you need to suck it up and get through this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You need to not be soft. You
right.
need to get it together. You need to be hard. Like, you need to at least appear invincible or you will be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. You cannot trust men. You cannot trust. There were just all these things. I got to do it myself. And that experience really was like when I first started being like, oh, I really can't. And it still is a huge struggle to try to ask for help because it's kind of embarrassing. I feel like embarrassed to ask for help, or I feel like vulnerable. And I feel like appearing like you don't need people is the safest. I always grew up thinking that was the safest place you could be. When you don't need other people, you don't get disappointed.
Exactly.
And it's great. But it's not great. It's lonely and you need help. And that's really a part of our species. That's a huge part. We're like a social species. We need other people. Lone wolves die. You can't be a lone wolf. Sorry.
We're not
it's
wolves. Yeah.
Even for a wolf, you can't be. That's your whole thing. You hunt in packs. You need other people.
Exactly.
You need other people. And once I got that part, I was like, it's been a little easier, but it's not. It's still, it takes a long time.
It's a struggle.
And for Black women, we definitely aren't supposed to be asking nobody for help because basically we weren't meant to survive. People think we don't need no help. They be like, fuck y'all. And it shows too in the way that people talk about Black women too. Like, a Black woman get dragged and beat and all kinds of shit, and people be like, suck it up.
Yeah.
This is why should you have feelings? Why should you
Yeah. And I think for me, part of what I'm realizing, or what I knew but am internalizing more, is that it's a process. Life is a process. It's not about these goals. So it's in the day-to-day that you actually are living, right? It's not finishing the dissertation. It's like, what's the day-to-day of that? And part of what I want for the day-to-day is being more connected and feeling in my body and feeling in the world in ways that when you're just so goal-oriented, you can lose sight of all the things that are happening in the day-to-day because you're so focused on that one thing. So part of process for me is, inviting people into the process. So the process is not one that I'm soldiering on my own.
Man. That's kind of wild, man, that you even think that at all, bruh. To me, I'm like, shit, I'm hopeless, man. If you are working on trying to ask people for more help, then I'm just like...
What does that mean to you, me asking for help?
No, I think you should. If you feel like that's something you need to work on. I just always have had the impression that... But see, that's we were talking about earlier about Facebook, how it's basically the Hall of Illusions. It's bullshit. Don't believe nothing you see on there. It's so easy to act like your life is great on Facebook, isn't it? It's just so easy to think, oh, well, these people are really good friends on Facebook. This couple is really happy
on Facebook.
They're really successful
on Facebook.
And so maybe that's where I got the impression from. But it's, it's ridiculous, though. It's ridiculous. What I was saying made no sense. Basically, I know that you are a human being with things you are working on. Don't get it, that's what I'm trying to say. I guess I more was just saying, like, it's a thing where I have to, like, a lot of times now, especially now that I'm sober, something will happen and I'll have a story about it in my head and I have to go, oh, let me look at that. That's not really correct.
Yes.
And take out some parts and put some other parts in. So what I will say, I'm going to take that piece out and say, actually, I know that that's something that I hear you saying that's something you want to work on, and that's awesome, and it's very encouraging to me that is something that you want to work on.
Yeah,
that you feel comfortable enough to say it, and that's instead of being like, oh my God, well, if Moya is saying that, Jesus, I'm just like hopeless. No, thinking, well, then that's lovely. That means I have a friend who's doing her damn thing and working on the things that she feels like. Exactly. Ooh, I was about to say something bad.
Ooh. Okay.
No, that was about something totally different, but then I was like, ooh, don't say that. Don't say that. I'll tell you when we get off.
Okay.
Ooh, don't say that.
Okay, well.
That's terrible.
Then.
Hold on. We got to end on a positive note.
Yeah.
I don't know what we should do, though.
We're gonna, sign out for this particular moment But we had a real good time talking.
We did.
And we should do this again.
We will do it again, y'all. And be on the lookout. Sometime in the next 3 months, I'm going to hit y'all.
Oh, talk about it.
With a mixtape. Let's see. What's the mixtape going to be about? It's basically because I'm getting so sick of hearing. To getting my trap on to this ignorant ass shit that people are producing. That's just talking about things that are completely not useful for anyone and that are just not true and are not reflective of the reality that I want to live and the reality that my friends are living and creating. So I'm gonna hit y'all with a mixtape. I already hit one lick off of it. Moya heard it. She got us tight.
It was fire. Y'all need to get prepared because it's about to go down. It is about to go down. And this is the thing too. Like, people, what I love about the people in my life is that they're so creative. It's just like a quiet brilliance, you know? Like, people just be sleeping on people. Like, it's just like,
that's true.
Y'all are creative. I think people don't always have wonderful people in their lives who are vibrant and thinking about things. And I feel very fortunate to have lots of people like that in my life. And so when I see their magic, like just a little piece of it, I'm just like, wow. You know? Like, I know how to pick them.
You sure do. Mm-hmm. You sure do.
I do.
All right, y'all. We are out of here.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next time on The Prescription.
On The Prescription, because we got what you need.
What you need.
Are you ready, hot boy? Oh, tell me. What's your name? Cause I'm impressed. Can you treat me good? I won't settle for less.
Shout out to Missy.
Always.
Boy, a fun toy.